Hello, my name is Jeff. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to be making a gluten-free lobster salad. It is actually my own creation. I came up with this one day when I was craving a lobster roll. So I just went to the store, bought a bunch of ingredients, threw it together, and it turned out amazing. My family really loves it when I make it. So basically you can use it as a salad, or if you want to get a roll and put it on there, either gluten-free or regular, and eat it as a sandwich, works out perfect. Please like, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and hit the notification bell to see more of my videos. We will start off by making the dressing itself. You're going to need some mayonnaise and a sweet Vidalia onion dressing. This is the brand that I use. Probably doesn't matter what you use, go with whatever you like. I used to use, it was called Smart Balance mayonnaise. It was more of a healthy version, I guess, of it. I don't know if they don't make it anymore, but I couldn't find it. So I just bought some cheap mayonnaise. So you're gonna start with your mayonnaise. Oop, probably should leave that on, easier to squirt out. Half cup measure, and just fill that up. Give it a couple taps, make sure it's level. Gotta love the sounds, right? It's about there, just maybe a little bit more. Okay, so about a half cup, tap her down, she'd be level. Take your spatula, give her a nice clean swipe. And then take that same half cup measure, give your Vidalia onion dressing a shake, and same amount, another half cup. And that's probably about what I have left. Perfect. Couldn't ask for more, right? And just dump that in. And then after you get that cleaned out, you're gonna take your spatula and just give it a stir. Incorporate it. A little ASMR for you. Shh, listen. You either like that sound or are really disturbed by it. Okay, so I just incorporated that. Good to go. Real simple, real easy. So that is the dressing that will be incorporating the salad. Now, like I said, this is gluten-free, okay? My dad has celiac. He also likes this salad. And one of my nieces is allergic to wheat. So we just want to make sure they're able to eat the same stuff we are. This is hard to find. It's Transocean, and it literally says it's approved by the Celiac Foundation. This is gluten-free. I use 2 packages for this recipe. They are 8 ounces a piece. And what I do is I open these over a colander, because there is usually a little bit of water in here, and you just don't want, I guess, that mess, because I do break this up by hand. So I just dump it out over the colander, just dump it right in there, right into your sink, so it just can drain out a little bit. Just take them both and just dump them both in. Completely empty. And this is what it looks like. It breaks up pretty easy. If it doesn't, just take your hand and break them up into smaller chunks. And it's really gonna depend on, I guess, your preference on how small you like your lumps of meat. Obviously, this is imitation lobster meat. Feel free to use, you know, whole clump lobster meat or whatever kind of seafood you want. If you wanna use crab meat, you can do that. It's your own variation of whatever you think you'd enjoy. So that's good to go. And Honestly, I think I want a little bit smaller. So what I'm gonna do, again, do as I say, not as I do. I'm just gonna cut them up a little, just into a little bit smaller chunks. And I'm just dropping them right into the dressing. Now this may take me a while, so I think I will just show you how I'm gonna do the celery too, because I want that broken down a little bit too. I showed you in a previous video. Please go check that one out. That is for the Crooked Lake Caviar, which will probably be titled An Easy Healthy Salad. That's gluten-free. So this is, I've got the celery started already. And as you can tell, it's a smaller dice, okay? I want a smaller dice than previously that I had on the salad, just for texture reasons with this salad. I think the smaller dice has a better feel in the mouth when you're eating and enjoying this salad. So very tiny, and then just dice that. And then what I'm gonna do after I'm done here, I'm gonna probably bring that lobster meat over here and just not be so picky on how I cut it and just dice it kind of like I'm doing the celery here. As you can tell, I kind of improvise as I go. There is a rhyme and a reason to my madness, and that is for delicious, savory food. So that's what it looks like. Just throw your celery in there. And then I'm gonna take the lobster meat and just kind of give it a dice. Scrape it off the knife a little bit. It's not gonna be perfect. You're just gonna have some bigger and smaller pieces. I think it's gonna get a better universal, I guess I shouldn't say universal because it's kind of not gonna be uniform, but you're gonna have a better feel in the mouth when you eat it. Because you're not gonna have this big hunk of meat. You're just gonna have pieces in every bite. Really simple, really easy. And then what I use Julien's carrots, and I myself like to save time when I'm making things like this because these are usually for larger groups. Now this one is just for myself, but if you're gonna make it for a group, I would simply double the recipe, use 4 packages of this meat. And it's relatively inexpensive. One package is about $3 or less from what I've come accustomed to. Obviously, if you're using real crab meat or lobster meat, it's gonna be much more expensive. So, as I said, just give her a quick slice through. Not a big deal. Gives it a more natural look too, I guess, instead of being all these uniform chunks. Anyways, back to the Julienne carrots. What I do is I just buy a package of matchstick carrots. They look like this. And then I'm gonna wash them, and you put in about a half a cup of carrots. Basically, you're gonna match half a cup of celery and a half cup of carrots. So I'm just sliding the crab meat right into that bowl of dressing. And with the carrots, like I said, just take a little bit out of the bag. I'm gonna take a little bit out. As I'll show you, I'm gonna use that same colander and just give them a rinse. So we'll bring them over to the sink here. Use the same colander. My hand's a little slimy from the lobster, but just open your package and just dump out what you think you need. That looks so good to me. Give it a rinse. And just, you know, for the effort of time, I'm gonna dump this onto a paper towel. What I'm doing is just taking kind of these not so good looking pieces. There's little black stuff on it. Honestly, it's probably just from the outside of the carrot. You know, maybe it wasn't cleaned well or wasn't, as they process it, you know, when they shave the carrot, just little bits get left. Not a big deal. Just take those little bits out. And it's for aesthetic reasons, to be honest with you, not for any health reason. I'm sure they're perfectly fine to eat. So I'm just gonna dump these carrots right onto the paper towel to just soak up that water, because you don't want too much water in there. There's enough water in both this, the lobster meat, and the celery naturally that it's gonna get into the dressing and it won't be as thick. You just want a little bit more thickness to it. So this is just what I'm doing with the, I'm sorry about that, with the matchsticks, the carrot matchsticks, just drying them off so they're not so wet. And then again, you just want to dump them right into your salad. And then you're going to incorporate that a little bit. And then the last ingredient that I add, actually, I'm sorry, there's 2 more ingredients. Probably the most important one that gives it that magical flavor. And for some people, they're going to hate it. One of my friends thinks it tastes like grass, but the people that love it, love it. And I'm sure you people may know what I'm talking about because it's cilantro. And when it comes to cilantro, you either love it or you hate it. So I'm gonna take the cilantro, and generally what I do, because the stems, they're fine to eat, but they usually have that tougher exterior to it, so when you eat it, it kind of takes away from the enjoyment. So what I usually do is wherever they tie it off, I generally cut right there and get rid of most of the stems. And then I'm going to take the rest, toss it into my colander, and give it a rinse. So I'm just going to cut those off and show you. Okay, now that we've got the cilantro separated and cut off from the tie that came from the store, you're going to want to put them in the colander and give them a rinse. Get any residual dirt off that might have still be on there. Just like I said, and use cold water, rinse it off. Give them a shake, and just kind of pick through. You want to get rid of the stem that's going to be tough. And then what you can do, there's different ways of doing this. Sometimes you just want to take it out and chop it. When they're, I guess, this much, you can just kind of take it and pull it apart. And just toss that tougher stem right in the trash. Just go through them a little bit. Cilantro can be a very strong flavor. Like I said before, some people really just hate it because it tastes like fresh cut grass, is what I've heard. Not like this. This is smaller. This is probably not a big deal. It gives a nice texture when you have a little bit in there of the stem. And just, you want the leaves. The leaves are what are really good, flavorful, and the texture is okay. Now again, like this is a thicker stalk. It's going to give that toughness that won't be so pleasant with the rest of the salad. And if you get stuff that's a little more brown or is starting to get a darker green where it's kind of mushy, I don't think that's going to be good in this salad. It might be good if you're eating a lettuce type salad where it kind of goes with lettuce and the other leafy greens. Not for so much for this. And I just pick through, and then when I get down to the other stuff where there's not so many stems left, I'm going to take it over to my cutting board and just give it a kind of a dice through with the knife. And as I go through this, the pieces I'm saving, I'm just setting it onto a paper towel to help absorb, again, some of that excess water, because there's plenty of water in the lobster meat and just the vegetables themselves, the celery and the carrots. And you don't want it to be too watery, because as it does, I'm sure it probably lasts about a week in your refrigerator. So it's nice to have as a snack later on, or even a primary meal. So you don't want it to get too watery as it's in your fridge or your refrigerator. So as I said, I'm just doing this for the most part to get those bigger stems off. If you like cilantro, use a little bit extra, but do not overdo it because it will overpower the salad itself. And then honestly, it's actually not as good. You know, I've had the mantra, the more cheese, the better. And also the more cilantro, the better, but it's actually not true. You can have too much cilantro and it is rare, but you can have too much cheese. So just going through it here, and I'm going to show you how I dice it up, and we'll transition over to that right now. And now I'm going to show you how I dice up the cilantro. I did set it over onto a paper towel, so I just kind of want to pat it dry real gently. It kind of is like spinach, so it's delicate. You don't want to mush it and turn it into, you know, looking like canned spinach. So just tap it dry or pat it dry. And then dump it onto your cutting board. Whoa! Boy, my camera keeps getting away from me. Okay, so we're good to go. And I'm just going to adjust my camera here. And this is not like I did with the celery. You don't want this minced. You just want it kind of chopped, okay? So I'm just gonna really, just kind of gently put your hand on it and just gently chop about an inch apart, maybe more. And then crossways. Again, really far apart, just enough to split it up a little bit, okay? And then take your bowl, excuse me, with your salad in it, and just kind of take it and just put about half of it in, and so you can incorporate it a little bit. Just gently, give it a stir. So it looks like about like that, and then dump the rest in. Basically, I use one bunch of cilantro, but get the smaller bunch if you can. And then you're also going to want to, like I said, be selective as you go through it because you don't want too much. I know it looks like a lot, but that dressing that I have on here is pretty powerful and delicious, by the way. And so you've got that incorporated just gently, like I said. And then the last ingredient I mentioned before, cheese, okay? The recipe as I have it written is a half cup. Just use your judgment, use your taste. This is a 2-cup package. I just kind of pour, and I kind of just, I want things to look uniform. So I want it to be equal to about how the celery and the carrots look. So everything looks uniform, and so you're getting a little bit of carrot, a little bit of celery, a little bit of meat, or I should say lobster or imitation lobster, and even amount of that cilantro. So it's just a delicious uniform flavor that you get a little bit of different uniqueness in every bite. So you're never missing out on anything. And like I said, the majority of my family eats this just like this. It's a salad. Others may want to put this onto their favorite bread or hard roll or gluten-free bun. Before you do that though, you're going to want to refrigerate this for at least 2 to 3 hours. Again, this is something else that I would refrigerate overnight so the flavor really incorporates and goes through the entire salad. It just tastes much better that way. And then you can eat it, like I said, either on your favorite bun or roll or just like this as a salad. That's how my family really enjoys it, is just as a salad. So please just like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And God bless, and enjoy your day.